Assalamu alaikum, it's Sista Samilah. Let's get right to it, beloved. Today, we're diving into a crisis, one that's been simmering in silence for too long. We need to talk about what's happened to the image, role, and purpose of young Black men in today's society, especially when it comes to masculinity. Now, don't get distracted by the noise. This ain't about bonnets on the surface. This is about the erosion of structure, the intentional unraveling of traditional strength, and the systemic attack on the divine order that once governed how Black men moved in this world. There was a time, not that long ago, when a young Black man was raised to be a provider, a protector, a pillar. He walked with strength, not just in body, but in character. He was sharpened by elders, rooted in faith, and bound by responsibility. His masculinity wasn't toxic. It was necessary. It was sacred. It was the glue that held the village together. But now we're witnessing a coordinated cultural detour. Suddenly, masculinity is labeled oppressive, and confusion is praised as courage. The lines are no longer blurred, they've been erased, and too many of our boys are left to piece together identity with no compass, no guidance, and no sense of where they're truly going. And while I know some folks will hear this and clutch their pearls, saying, "Oh, Samilah, let people express themselves," when, baby, let me be real clear. This is bigger than clothes. This is about control. Because when you take away a people's identity, you take away their power. When you distort what a man is, you destabilize the family. And when the family falls, the community follows. The Quran says in Surah An-Nisa 4:34, men are the protectors and maintainers of women because Allah has given one more strength than the other and because they support them from their means. That verse isn't about domination. It's about design. It's about accountability. It's about divine order. But now, our young brothers are being taught to sit down when they should be standing up. They're taught to remain silent when their voices were meant to lead. They're trained to mimic softness in the name of acceptance, while their natural inclination to lead, build, and guard is being suppressed and even punished. Let's not play dumb. This didn't happen on accident. While we were mourning, marching, and healing from trauma after trauma, others were strategically rewriting what Black masculinity should look like. And it's time we ask, who benefits when the Black man no longer sees himself as a man? Because while liberal ideologies talk a good game about freedom, they never tell you that true freedom starts with discipline, with legacy, and with structure. They don't tell you that the freest man is the one who answers to something greater than himself. And that's what's missing today: accountability to God, to family, and to self. Too many of our boys are growing up without fathers, without rites of passage, and without elders who can sit them down and say, "Son, you are a king in the making, not a character in someone else's agenda." Let's be clear. Emasculation is the new colonization. Only this time, it doesn't come in chains. It comes in trends, hashtags, and reality shows. It tells our sons that strength is a problem, leadership is oppressive, and that anyone who speaks about values is outdated. But beloved, the Creator never goes out of style. And our community doesn't need more tolerance for dysfunction. We need a restoration of divine balance. To my young kings watching, you don't have to apologize for being a man, not to anyone. Stand tall in your discipline, sharpen your mind, guard your heart, respect your body, and lead your household with love, not ego, but lead nonetheless. And to the elders, it's time to step up, pull these boys in, teach them how to change a tire, balance a budget, pray with intention, and fight with honor, not just with fists, but with wisdom. They need you now more than ever. And to my sisters, support does not mean submission to confusion. It means holding the standard, reminding our men of who they are and what they were created to be. Because the truth is, we can't build kingdoms with men who don't know they're kings. The Quran reminds us in Surah Al-Hujurat 49:13, "Indeed, the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you." So it ain't about swag, it's It's about substance. It's about returning to a place where our boys become men, not just by age, but by righteousness, by duty, and by design. So let me make this plain. Black masculinity is not the enemy. It's the answer. It's the shield. It's the standard. And it's time we stop letting other people write the script for what our young men should be. We've wandered too far into confusion, beloved, but it's not too late to walk our way back to clarity. Until next time, this is Sista Samilah, rooted in truth, walking in light, and always bringing the fire when it's time to restore what was sacred.